What's up, guys? Arkham Knight 84 here. Here to talk to you about Friday the 13th, 2009. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to give you a warning up front that I'm going to spoil this movie. So if you've never seen this and you're watching this video, you may want to turn it off and go watch it because I'm going to spoil it. And let me turn my fan off. And I'm not going to go in depth in the story or anything like that because if you're watching this, 95% chance you've already seen this movie and you probably hate it or you like it or love it. Who knows? So, anyway, let's get into it. It's directed by Marcus Nispel. It was written by Mark Swift and Damian Shannon. It stars Jared Padalecki, Amanda Rigetti, Travis Van Winkle, Aaron Yu, Danielle Panabaker, and Derek Mears comes into the role as Jason Voorhees, which, by the way, I gotta say up front, I think he did a phenomenal job, and I really hope he comes back for the next one, and the next one, and the next one, because he really stood out, in my opinion, of, Jason performances. I mean, he was a lot better than Ken Kersinger. No offense to Ken Kersinger fans, just saying, Derek did an amazing job. And, yeah. So anyway, Derek, if you're watching this, support, bro. Hope you come back. So basically, when they decided to make this movie, they couldn't remake the original because everybody knows who the killer is, Mrs. Voorhees. So they couldn't do that route. And plus, mainstream audience are not going to be happy about Jason not being the killer. They don't like it when you take Jason out of the picture. They've proven that with Part 5 and Jason Goes to Hell, so I don't think they were going to risk that. So what they did was they took the best parts between 1 through 4. Everything from the decapitation of Mrs. Voorhees to subplots in Part 4, like, Rob looking for his sister. I mean, they mixed all these things like Sackhead Jason get his hockey mask. They did all this into one film, which is kind of cool, and sometimes it comes off rushed. But they only had 90 minutes to tell the story. So, I'm not going to get into that. I'll just go into that later on. So, what do I think about this movie? Like I said, I'm not going to go into the plot. I'm just going to tell you what I like and didn't like. Let me just start with this. I remember when this was coming out in theaters, I was pumped to see this. I was excited. I was having marathons. I was looking for interviews. Anybody had anything to do with this movie? So I was pumped, and I was, for some reason, in my head, was thinking that this movie was going to go a little bit deeper into the mythos of Jason and his mom or something like that. And I knew right away from the opening credits they were just going to just breeze right through it. Which is not a bad thing. I guess we don't need to have an origin story or something like that. But I don't know. The whole movie, like I said, when I was going to the movie theater, I didn't go in negative saying this movie's going to suck. Remakes suck. I didn't have that thought at all. So I wasn't negative. And then when the movie started and I started watching, and when it was over, I just felt kind of blah, almost ripped off. Like, it was just like, really, this is the best y'all could do? But the movie has grown on me over the years for many different reasons. The big main reason is because I had a very close best friend. He passed away from cystic fibrosis, and we used to have Friday the 13th marathons all the time, and this was the last time he and I got to go to the theater together and see something. Matter of fact, I think it's the last Friday the 13th movie we saw together. So it's really hard for me to be that negative against it. So, yeah, holds a special place in my heart because that was a good time. Because when I went to go see it with him that time, it was actually the second time I saw it in theaters to see. Well, maybe I was just too tired, and I just was in a bad mood. I didn't like it. I still felt the kind of same way, but being there with him and he was just eating up everything, I was able to loosen up a little bit and enjoy it for what it is. And I do really like Derek's performance in this movie. I think he does a great job. I really hope he comes back. I really love the look of Jason in this movie. Um, I liked some of the kills. Some of the kills were just kind of blah. I really liked the sleeping bag, even though it kind of felt out of place with Jason. But then again, the way I like to look at this movie, for me to just say, Jason, yeah, he would capture somebody, he would have underground tunnel. If you read comics, like DC, Marvel, they have especially in DC, they have these Elseworld stories, especially with Batman. Batman, Elseworld, blah, blah, blah. Where basically they can take the character and the story and his basically shake things up, do things that he would normally not do in this other world, or what if this happened? That's how I look at this. I kind of look at this as like an Elseworld Jason Voorhees story. It's basically it's a reboot. It's just a different time. Not saying that's what this movie is. That's an Elseworld or anything like that. That's just how I look at it, so I can enjoy it and not get so hung up on Jason capturing people and that sort of thing. So it's just a completely different world of Jason Voorhees. That's how I look at it. If that helps you, hey, cool. I like the characters, like some of the characters. Some of the characters are kind of blah. Like, I really like Jared Padalecki's character. I really liked Aaron Yu and his friend. I can't remember his name, the black guy. I can't remember his name. What else did I like about this movie? I'm trying to think what else. That's all I can really think about that I really like about this movie. I mean, it tried something different. I mean, I didn't accept it right away, but over time, I've grown to accept this movie, and I'm more appreciative to this movie, and it's climbing up higher a little bit now on my favorite Friday the 13th list of what I like to watch every year. It's climbing up there. It used to be towards the bottom. Not kidding, but over the years, it's grown on me. It's almost becoming in my top 5. Almost. But it's getting there. And I think that's all I really got to say that's positive. Now, the next one, I'm going to go not real negative, just little nitpicks, just poking fun at it, really. So anyway, if you want to join me in my part 2, and I'll give you what I disliked about the movie, and whether or not, if you should watch it or not, and my rating. So, come back for part 2.